that's probably because, well, to tackle this thought from one uh, perspective would be the perspective of time, right? And when it comes to time, you have 24 hours in a day, and from of those 24 hours, 8, let's say, we use for work and school, right? Let's say we use 2 of those hours for traveling to work and school, 2 of those hours for hygiene plus cleaning plus organizing, right? We're using, let's say, an average of 8 of those hours for sleep, right? And we're using, how much is that so far? So 24 minus 8 is 16, minus 8 is 8, minus 2, 6 minus 2 is 4. So we're down to 4 hours already. So just, which is, the majority of that work is 4 hours, right? So far. Sorry, the majority of the things that of the hours are gone. There's only 4 hours left. So 4 hours left, and that's after we've eliminated the big tasks and big things that take. So out of these 4 hours, right? The question is thinking through why I keep stopping and starting things, right? I believe that too ambitious. So I've got one first goal, I've got a second goal, third goal, fourth goal, etc. I've got loads of goals that I want to do, and each of those goals, they probably take about 1 to 2 hours per day, right? 1 to 2 hours per day, right? And if I've got, let's say, 4 or 5 goals at once, so fifth goal as well, right? I've got 5 goals, that's 5 to 10 hours per day. And that means that I've only got 4 hours in a day left and 5 to 10 hours of stuff that I need to do. Now, there are two options. Two options that I have, right over here. The first option is to cut the quality. So that's the quality of time, quality of effort put into each goal, and do everything. The second option is to cut the number of goals and focus on 1 or 2. Let's take the first option. So if I cut the quality, what are the pros and what are the cons? Let's do a pros and cons list, right? Pros, cons. So the pros of cutting the quality would be to do everything. So it'd be multiple goals that I'm working on. That's the first thing. The second thing would be let me think. So cutting the quality to do everything. I'll be doing everything, so I'll be multiple goals that I'll be working on. I'd feel productive, definitely. real productive. That's all I can think of for now. And when it comes to cons, it would be probably low quality, so slow progression, burnout. Would be overwhelmingness, that linked to burnout, being overwhelmed, and then with slow progression comes demotivation. Demotivation, also it's more difficult, and lack of flexibility, which therefore leads to lack of peace of mind. Right? Cool. So clearly the cons outweigh the pros. And if I cut the number of goals that I want to do and focus on one or two of them, let's do a pros and cons list for this as well. Pro, con. Right. So the pros for this would be do two things very well. So I'd make a lot of progress in them. I'd also be, so you're focusing on one or two things very well. I'd be making a lot of progress in them, and I'd be motivated because I'd be actually making progress in at least something. So increase in motivation, and that in itself would therefore lead to getting the ball rolling. So that would mean it would be less friction, lead to a higher chance of achieving more goals. Cool. And then the cons are going to be less goals achieved in I forget the end bit. So less goals achieved quickly, and then the other con is going to be just less goals achieved. I can't really think of another con, to be honest. I think it'd be less goals that I'd be achieving, but then that's not really a con because once I've achieved those two goals, because I'm putting 100% of my effort into them, I'd have more time to then focus on the other goals. Less goals achieved right now, more achieved later. So even that in itself is a pro. So it looks like there's going to be a clear winner. This is probably what I need to do. So it's going to be cut the number of goals and do only two, one or two for now, then more later. Okay, so that's something I can take away from this. That is something I can take away. Alright, I said there's two options. There might be more. Let me think. Are there any more options? So the question is why I keep starting and stopping things. Time time led to not having enough time to do the goals that I want to do. Two options to solve that. Are there any other more options to solve that? It looks like there aren't. You can either do everything and cut it down to a little bit, or you can just focus on one or two for now and then do them more later. And even if I say cut out goals completely, I'd have to add them back in anyways later since I've completed the ones that I'm currently on. Therefore, looks like that's probably what seems like a logical thing to do, is to cut the number of goals and do only one or two for now, and focus on more later. Is there any other reason why I keep starting and stopping things? Okay, let's take into account motivation and discipline. So motivation is basically willpower. Well, no, it's not. You've got motivation, then you have willpower, and then you have discipline. Alright, let's look at motivation. Motivation will go up and then come back down, and then go up and then come back down, and maybe go back up and then fly up and come back down. So it goes up and down. So it's not something I can rely on. It may be a reason why. This could be a possible reason. But with motivation, if I rely on it, then it's a possible reason. If I don't rely on it, then it's not. Possible reason if relied upon. Alright, let's look at willpower. The willpower to continue doing something for a long period of time, regardless of how you feel about doing it. Alright, with willpower, nope. Isn't it similar to the Dunning-Kruger effect? Right? So your willpower is high. Willpower in time. So in the beginning, your willpower is high because you don't know the difficulties of doing that thing. It goes up. Eventually you find the difficulty, it goes down slowly and you realize how difficult the thing is. Then once you learn and get better at it, it goes back up. Or is that to do with motivation? No, it'd be willpower because of the fact that getting the ball rolling again, that's difficult. But every time you get a win, so over here you're getting losses. But when you get a win, that will increase your willpower because of motivation. And then so this thing here right there, that will increase motivation. Then another one. And if you increase motivation, your willpower or your capacity for the willpower, the amount of willpower you have will go up and up and up. Right? And therefore, what I can conclude from this is only a reason in the beginning. So So if I rely on this, if we rely on willpower, then it's only an issue in the beginning, and after that it's easier. But that's only when it becomes easy. And discipline, in terms of a graph, discipline. So you start off with low discipline, and you end up with high discipline, and that could be something like that. But the general trend is upwards. So that's discipline and that's time, right? So general trend is upwards. Therefore, what this indicates is it a possible reason? No, it won't be, because the more you practice it, the less of a reason, the less of a chance of it becoming a reason. So, not a reason. That means discipline is the one we need to focus on now. If you build discipline, then we don't need to rely on willpower, and we don't need to rely on motivation. Okay, so the other thing will be rely on discipline built. Alright, let's go back to the question. Think through why I keep starting and stopping things. So time, lack of time, either motivation, willpower, discipline, right? We've gone through them three. What could be another reason why I keep starting and stopping things? It could be just something random. So what I mean is just life in itself. So because life is random, it's unpredictable. So we write randomness. Right? But when it comes to randomness, it's a difficult one, because when it comes to randomness, there's certain things that are in your control, and there's certain things that are out of your control. And in your control will be how you feel. Actually, you know what? Better said is mindset. What is your mindset going in? Out of your control is emotions. For the most part, in the beginning, it's going to be emotions that would eventually change into in control, but that's later on. So your mindset is something you can control. The number of goals. Alright, is something in control. Something out of control would be just random things that stop you from doing your goal. So life is out of your control. Something else that's out of your control? Let's think. Life, emotions. Can't really think of anything else, but so for now I'll just leave that. So anything else? So what can I control right now about my goals? The goals that I choose to do. So the number of goals, the type of goals. Right? Cool. So from this I can see, if I focus on the stuff that I'm in control of, I can get all these things done. And even if my emotions and life get in the way, if I reduce the number of goals, change the type of goals, reset my mindset, this will always beat this. Therefore, focus on what you're in control of. control of. Oh, that's fine. Alright, let's go back. I'll give myself a bit of time to see if I can think of something. Otherwise, I think that's it. Why I keep starting and stopping things. I don't know. I'll probably think, because we've done randomness already, right? So that's a big one. We've done the internal things that are happening in the mind, discipline, willpower, motivation. We've done that, and we've done time. We've done the majority of them. I'm sure there's other ones out there. That's the ones that come to mind right now, and I think for this session, there's some things that I could take away. So cut out the number of goals and do only one or two for now, and then more later once you've achieved them. That's point one. Rely on discipline built over willpower and motivation. That could be rule two. Rule three would be focusing on what you are in control of rather than what you are not in control of. I'm sure there's other things out there, and there's probably mistakes and stuff that I've made, but for the most part, I'm happy with that. Cool.